Pastor Cal asks Emily whether the man in the interview is the same person she's married to.
I'll take hell no for 200.
Welcome to Cliff Alerts.
Today we're going to be talking about Lifetime Network's reality-based TV series, Married at First Sight, season number 17, episode number 15.
But before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Please click that notification button so you know when we upload new content. Please send us your comments and click that like button as well. Emily and Brennan are trying to practice listening and interrupting. So they have a paddle, and when someone is interrupting or they're not listening, I guess they raise it. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it might slip someplace.
Yeah, somebody will be paddled.
Right.
It's not that kind of show.
Okay, that's good.
Emily is not clear about the boundaries that Brennan imposed in their friendship. And she is concerned. She said trust and consistency is big for her. She don't think she's getting that from Brennan. And at the moment she starts articulating how she feels, he lifts the paddle to sort of wave her off so she won't say anything else so he doesn't look bad on camera.
Please. And didn't he say also in the course of that conversation that he kind of felt like trust was broken between the two of them in the last meeting with Dr. P?
He said he wants her in his life and losing her will suck. None of that sounded sincere, but I'm just reporting what I see.
The only thing that's really kind of sucking right now is the way that his representative is showing up on TV, contrary to what he wants.
She feels like she's losing herself and she really does not like how he treats her, nor how he talks to her.
Right. She also said she really cares about him a lot.
Yeah, but she gotta believe what her eyes are telling her. Her eyes can't start lying to her at this point.
Because it's different than what she's hearing, ain't it?
Exactly. Brennan said that he doesn't want to blur the lines between friendship and marriage and that they need to keep those boundaries that he established intact.
I think he just wants to regulate the whole process and keep Emily quiet in front of the camera.
Emily said she no longer feels like she has any expectations because, as she said, she's losing herself, and that's not good for anyone in a relationship. He wants friendship, however, he does not treat her like a friend.
Emily brought up as an illustration the wedding between Chloe and Michael that they attended the night before, right? And she was saying that it made it fairly obvious to everybody else that was there, including herself. Brennan didn't want to have any fun. He didn't want to be there, or he didn't want to participate. He didn't want to be connected with his wife there in public.
And so much so that someone came up to her and said that he doesn't even treat her like a friend, that they as a couple don't look like they're even together. That's telling. Brennan thinks that he could try to maneuver this friendship situation and ignore the expert's advice on how to do so. And he's only saying he wants a friendship on camera. His actions towards her doesn't imply that he actually wants an authentic friendship.
And I think when she brought this to his attention based on what other people, I guess, had noticed and maybe said to her,
He said ignore it.
man, what world, what alternative universe do you live in?
Does he realize how simple he looks?
No.
Emily hooks up with Claire.
Yeah.
And you know Claire's always got to have something to say.
Yeah.
So when Emily breaks down what has been happening, Claire pipes up and said that Brennan is trying to silence Emily.
Right. Claire also said that you're open to this process, but he's closed off. He's not open to it.
Again, we just gonna ignore the elephant in the room as it relates to Claire. Emily said that Brennan was fine with her before he decided that he has stake in how he appears on camera. And that's when everything started changing.
Okay.
When Claire told her that he was closed off, Emily decided that she's going to defend her husband and said he's doing the best that he can. And she's not going to give up, but it's hard.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
She has a hope that he is going to get off all these things that he's on and focus on her and focus on love developing and building a connection between them.
Maybe in terms of her awareness about what she's been seeing versus what she's been hearing, there's a denial process in effect.
Clearly, she knows that if she's losing herself, it's not a good thing.
Of course.
She wants more and he doesn't want to give her more. She got a hard decision to make. So Pastor Cal rolls through.
Yep.
And he said, which was funny, I know you're not setting the world on fire with passion and everything else.
And didn't say nothing.
Body blew. So Pastor Cal asked whether they're happy.
Yes.
And she said yes.
And the thing about her answer is that the mouth said one thing, but her facial expression said something entirely different.
Yes.
And when Pastor Cal saw that and put the two together, he was like, that wasn't very convincing.
Right, because prior to Pastor Cal coming through, Brennan asked her if she was nervous. And she admitted that she doesn't want to say anything that will upset him. She'd rather not speak a piece in an effort to avoid drama with him or his coldness if she doesn't say what he wants her to say.
I guess to follow that line of thinking, if she does that,
That's a break of trust.
Yes, that's where I was going with it. That's some foolishness right there.
Yeah, it's called manipulation.
So Pastor Cal then shares with both Brennan and Emily that he brought their initial interviews on video before they started this process, and he wanted them to see them to figure out, where they were then versus where they are now in the process. So in her video, Emily states that she wants a partner who's loyal, driven, and kind.
And Brennan said that he wanted a good marriage, someone that he could take care of, who he can be affectionate and loving towards, and who he's going to put first because he is accustomed to putting everyone in his life first, and he certainly will do that. More importantly, Brennan said he was going to trust the process.
So when Pastor Cal asked Brennan if he had married the same person on the video in the form of Emily, he's like, yes, the very same person, and she's very consistent.
And however, when Pastor Cal asked Emily whether the person in the interview is the same person she married, she hesitated for a long time. And then she said, well, some of his words were exaggerated. They still have some issues going on. So I'm glad she said those words were exaggerated because we haven't seen Brennan being loving. We haven't seen Brennan putting her above everything else.
Yep.
We haven't seen him being affectionate at all.
Like he said in the video.
Those points that he articulated then probably was something that he said just to get on the show. Pastor Cal asked them, what will it look like moving forward?
Right.
Because they got to get this stuff going.
Right.
And he said that this whole show is married at first sight.
Not friends at first sight.
And anything less is a cop-out.
Straight cop-out. And I agree with him. It doesn't seem like Brennan understands that. It's all about the friendship aspect of it first, as though they're not married.
But that is the friendship aspect of it hasn't even manifested itself.
Right.
He is comfortable in a lie.
Right.
He is projecting a lie.
Right.
He may say he wants a friendship and is implementing boundaries so she doesn't cross the line. However, he's not acting as if he wants to be her friend. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Everything with Brennan, as it relates to this relationship, is a lie.
Yeah, he's blowing smoke.
It's like a script. He's an actor.
And he's following it all the way to the end. And
he's following the lines. But it's not, it hasn't touched his heart.
And it's not convincing to those of us who are watching. After that meeting, she has an opportunity to speak with one of her girlfriends, Mackenzie.
Yeah. She called Mackenzie to tell her where she is in the process. And the first thing out of Mackenzie's mouth is whether this guy has shown that he is valuable to her. And she's encouraging Emily to come back down to earth because all the things Emily has been telling her does not line up with someone that you remain in a relationship with.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, Emily admittedly said that she was confused by, what to do and what's going on, you know?
Well, Emily said that the meeting with the experts were brutal. He was upset because he claimed that she broke his trust by telling the experts certain things.
Dr. Pia?
And this is when Mackenzie said, "Well, that sounds like manipulation based on how she's experiencing
Yeah,
it."
Mackenzie also questioned Emily about why it is that she's still with this dude. Mackenzie's like, hey, look, you've got to not only state your boundaries, but show them to him and stand up for yourself.
Emily said that she does not know where her boundaries are because, as she admitted, she's losing herself. And at one point, she talks about how disrespectful she feels with him because he's been chirping at her and she doesn't like it. She doesn't like how he feels. And she said he seems more concerned about how he shows up on TV rather than how she is feeling. And this is when Mackenzie told her to run for the hills, to get out.
She doesn't like him to begin with, trying to give him a chance, but he's shown that he's not deserving of him. Yeah, Mackenzie said, you deserve better.
Well, if she's losing herself, that's not a good place to be. Because once a man is disrespectful to you and you take it, you have to do some things so that he understands that this is not the way to go. And Brennan has not shown us to be a person who wants to be affectionate, who wants to put her first, and who wants to be in a good relationship. All Brennan has shown us is an actor following a script.